Guitar Pro 6. Okay. Now let me put this guitar down for a minute, and I'll show you what's going on with that. Okay. Now this thing, I haven't picked it up in a while. It's probably way out of tune. And that's fine too. That's easily fixable. This is called a Fretlight guitar. And that's the name of the company, Fretlight. And it looks and feels and plays just like it is a real guitar. It's just like a Stratocaster copy. Like so many out there. Okay. What's different about this one is so that's on my laptop. I've got it going to the screen here for these purposes. This is a very interesting learning tool. I saw this years ago on the internet, on YouTube, and I finally got one several years ago. And I'll tell you what, this is what I started with instead of Rocksmith, and this is fantastic. I can go into all these different settings. I can choose it for the scales. It'll show me different scales. It'll blink on the root note. I can pick songs. I go to ultimateguitar.com website, great website. Go there and I can find different, well, these are called tablatures. Now I can't read music, but it doesn't matter because these tablatures have been around forever, and this is how you learn. So it's upside down. So I imagine taking it like this and twisting it like that. So that's how it's not plugged into the amp right now. But there's a MIDI plug here on the bottom, and that's what you're hearing going into the computer. Obviously, it goes into the laptop via USB, and it has a real plug-in for your amp, so you can actually literally play this on stage. It's that good of a learning instrument. It would be an emergency backup kind of thing if I played on stage, which I wish, but it is still very good. It's got real pickups and everything, it plays real music. What's really neat about these is that you play along with the tablature. Now, like I said, back in the old days, it used to be a book. And now, okay, wait, pause. Okay, play the song again. Now, the tablature is moving. And so it helps you. Oh, Hendrix chord. It helps you learn. And again, this program is also very interesting. You can go over here. You can speed it up. You can slow it down. You can speed it up to like 150 times faster. So if you're mastering it and you just want to master it that well, so that when the real thing comes, like practicing with a wooden sword, it's heavier than the real thing. For when the real thing comes, you're stronger, you're better. Also, down here at the bottom, and this particular song doesn't have a lot of these, but I can choose the different tracks, and I have these knobs where I can turn them up, I can turn them down, I can do the pan, I can do the stereo, a little bit of EQ stuff going on, and even some of them will have the vocal. They'll have the vocals, but I can turn those off. I can move this block right here, this little black block, I can move it all the way back to the beginning, and I can start the song over again. I can loop the song so it continues to play. I can highlight a section, like it'll just do something since we're near the intro here. press and hold shift, and it's going to do just this block over and over again. And if I don't do it wrong, it'll work. Okay, come here. And what's it doing? It's showing it on the guitar. This is a Stratobond fretboard. It's not real wood, obviously. It has little LEDs in it, obviously. Anything that's open right there, again, open is no fret, just open string. It shows up here. And so it'll show you chords. It'll show you everything. Again, sometimes music is dubbed over. You might have one guitarist in the band, but you hear 3 guitars in the song. That's just dubbing. You can separate them here with these different tracks. This is a very interesting time to learn music. If you have ever wanted to learn anything with the guitar, I highly recommend either one or both of these. They're fantastic. Rocksmith comes out every Tuesday. They release new songs. And on Guitar Pro, you can get lessons. You go to Ultimate Guitar, you can download lessons for this. You can download songs you want to learn. Maybe you want to learn a few campfire songs. You know, drag out the acoustic and play. You can do that. You can do it. It's nothing to it. Once you start playing like this and you learn to keep, stay in tune, you learn a little bit of music theory, that's essentially an E chord, E5 power chord. Once you learn a little bit of music theory, you're playing, and people think you're amazing. So now I'm going to let you go. Oh, wait, before I do, this amplifier here, connects via Bluetooth to either this iPad or my phone, or any other Android device for that matter, and I can play music through it, which means I can plug into it with a guitar, and I can play along with the song, which is great. It's really neat, and this thing's 150 watts, so it's really good for a party or something that's loud. Very loud. Also, it connects to an app. And I'm just going to say on the phone because it'd be either the tablet or whatever. It connects to an app for updates from Line 6, the company that manufactures it. It's really something. It has a USB plug-in in the back. In case you want to do it through the computer instead of trying to do it through the app, which is via Bluetooth. I like doing it with the computer better. It's a little bit more TCP, IP, if you know what I'm saying. A little bit more of a guarantee. This tuner, and this is a strobe tuner, they're very accurate, and they're great. This one, guess what? It has a USB port, and that's for either charging or, you guessed it, connecting to the internet. Go on Peterson's website, you can connect to the internet, you can get updates for it, firmware updates, different tunings if you want to add more tunings to its memory, things like that. You can customize your own tunings. With Guitar Pro, you can write music with this. And let me see if I can show you. Oh, come here. You can write music. You choose different these different options over here, and so you can put in different music notes. You can change the tone. You can tone it flat or tune it sharp, whatever. You can do your special effects. You can do your equalizing and your board production, stuff like that. Chords, your microphone, and of course this, the guitar. And you can choose it for tablature mode or chord diagram mode, which just shows you the chords on the fretboard from all the way from the beginning to the end of the fretboard, where they can be located, and scales, of course, along with many other features that you can do. And so this is how I practice and learn. And of course, after doing so for a while, you get to train your ear and you get to learn by your own, on your own. But these tools are invaluable to me, and it's a very exciting time to be into music. I hope you pick up an instrument and think about how it all works. You know, Rocksmith recognizes if you're hitting a note. They recognize. Well, I really need to tune this thing. It recognizes if you're hitting the note right or wrong. Oh, you're off a fret, and it'll say miss. I have an arrow pointing. If you're playing the same thing, oh, you're off. You're supposed to be here. It'll tell you to move here. So it's a very, very powerful software, very powerful learning tool. And of course, now we have the hardware, right? It uses a special cable. Again, it can plug into the amp. I can, through the computer, it can read what I'm doing if I play with the software on the Guitar Pro. It's fascinating. It's really neat stuff. And I highly encourage, if you ever want to learn an instrument, this is the way to do it. There are keyboards out there that have lighted keys, and of course that's muscle memory, but after a while you'll start to understand the instrument past just regurgitating what you can do, just a pattern. You'll actually learn the music, and that's where I'm at now. And it makes it exciting and fun. This is great for kids. You know, music can help instill discipline, things like that. Math. Very good for math. But I just think about, all the time, I think about how everything connects, how it's working. So there's a note, and somewhere in Rocksmith, it has a value. It has some sort of a value. So this note here, A, is supposed to be the same note here. It's just slightly tonally different. Here's an A. Right, so here, this is G, higher pitch, that's the octave, right? So here's open G. Yeah, things out of tune. But I think you get the point. It assigns a value to the notes, or in notes played together or a chord, and it determines the speed, the accuracy. You can change the lag correction. So if it's firing earlier than what you want it to, or later, you know, if it's picking up your notes too late or too early, you can kind of adjust a little bit in there, because there is an electronic, you know, delay impulse kind of thing built in just by default, but the nature of what it is. So these are the things. These are this is something I really enjoy. I have a lot of electronic gadgets. I have a drone. It's another totally crazy piece of technology. It'll follow you. You can make it circle you. You can tell it to go somewhere. It'll come back. It'll land within 3 or 4 inches of where it takes off. Fascinating stuff. It's a really interesting time to be alive and in this kind of field, and I'm very excited about it. I have some ideas of my own for law enforcement, since I do have that experience. I have some ideas. I might have to run past you, Rob. Maybe we can make $1 million together. That'd be neat. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up finally, for real this time. And thanks for spending some time with me. And I hope you pick up an instrument and learn. There's nothing. It's so much fun. It's crazy. Not to mention play Sweet Child of Mine and learn how to pick up chicks. Right? Kidding. Thanks. Bye bye.